You buy things to quiet something deeper. The receipt feels like proof you matter. The calm rarely lasts. Status spending is not about the object. It is about a feeling you tried to purchase. You earn more and still feel behind. The numbers grew, but the aches stayed the same. By the end, you will see what your purchases quietly hide, not to shame you, to free you. Status spending is a polite scream for safety. We call it taste or lifestyle. Underneath, fear. Picture the moment before tapping your card on something expensive. A small ache is there. The purchase covers it. That ache is three feelings stacked. Not enough, not seen, not safe. The price tag promises all three. A handbag is not a handbag in that moment. It translates your uncertainty into something the world respects. A new car is not transportation when bought for status. It is a billboard announcing you finally arrived somewhere. The announcement fades fast. By the third week, the car is just a car again. The ache returns hungrier. This is the hidden mechanic under every status purchase. Relief shrinks while the chase grows. You need bigger proof. The proof keeps inflating because the inner question keeps repeating. Each upgrade buys a shorter version of relief. What you are hiding is often the belief you are behind. Behind friends, siblings, the imagined version of yourself. Spending becomes a fast-acting painkiller. It works briefly, the way painkillers do. The symptom quiets, the cause continues underneath. Status purchases tend to spike during certain moments, after a hard conversation, after scrolling someone else's vacation photos online. The spending is not random. It is emotional first aid disguised as a free, casual choice you made. Your card responds to a wound you have not named. That wound is older than the credit limit. Underneath the wound is usually an old story about worth. Maybe you grew up watching money mean love. Or maybe money meant safety, distance, or even shame. Children absorb these meanings before they have words for them. By adulthood, the meaning runs under every purchase like quiet background music. You stop noticing. You keep humming along. When you buy the watch, the bag, the upgraded apartment, you are not just buying. You answer an old question. The question sounds like, am I finally enough now? Every receipt answers, almost, but not quite yet, keep going. So you keep shopping for the gap between almost and yes. This is why raises rarely deliver expected calm. The income changed. The question did not change with it. New money meets the same old ache, every single time. Lifestyle inflation is not really about lifestyle. It is about volume. You turn up spending to drown a feeling. The feeling is usually invisibility, not being noticed by people whose noticing once mattered most to you. Appear a younger you. Status spending is one of the approved ways to ask for noticing. A new car gets compliments. Saying you feel small does not. So we use objects as proxies for missing conversations. Then there's comparison, the engine humming under it all. You are not chasing things, you are chasing a gap. That gap is mostly imagined. You compare your interior to their curated exterior. Their highlight reel becomes your ruler. The ruler is rigged. You cannot win a comparison with someone's edited self, but the spending tries every month. The gap will not close. It is not really about objects. The gap is about feeling chosen by other people. Being seen as worthy of admiration, attention, real love. No object delivers that for very long at all. Here is the part that keeps you running on the treadmill. Every purchase resets your baseline back to normal again. Last year's thrill is now just plain ordinary. Psychologists call this the hedonic reset. You feel adaptation in your bones. Adaptation is biological, not a personal failure. Your nervous system stops noticing whatever stays the same for too long, including the lifestyle you worked hard to reach. The bigger apartment becomes regular within months. New fades into old. Something new must arrive to feel the lift. This is what makes status spending feel endless to many. It is endless by design. The brain keeps moving the finish line forward. You never actually cross it for good. Pause here for a moment, if you can. Think about the last status purchase that gave you a real lift. How long did that lift actually last? A week, a weekend, an afternoon, an hour? Notice the gap. Notice the gap between the price and the lasting feeling. If something here is landing for you, share it below. Naming your own pattern is often the first crack of light through. Your comment might help someone else recognize theirs. Sometimes one honest sentence does more than 100 polished posts. Now back to the deeper layer most people miss. Status spending is also hiding grief you have not named. Grief about the life you thought you would have. Grief about the parent who did not really notice you. Grief about time passing faster than you expected it to. We do not call it grief, so it has nowhere to go. It leaks sideways into our carts and closets. You can buy around grief for decades and never touch it. The grief does not mind. It outlasts everything. Status spending is also hiding ordinary loneliness. The kind that does not disappear in a room full of people. The kind that hums quietly under everything. A new outfit promises you will be received differently next time. Looked at, included, wanted, finally chosen. Sometimes it works for an hour. Then the hour ends. You're alone. Alone in better clothes with the same hum still inside. The clothes were never going to do that emotional job. There is also the part hiding from yourself. The inner self that quietly wants slowness, depth, rest, real presence. That self gets drowned out by the noise of acquiring. It speaks in whispers while spending speaks in receipts. Receipts are louder for a while, but the whisper never leaves. It asks, was that what you actually needed? The honest answer is, I needed to feel less alone, less small, less afraid of being left behind by everyone. No object was ever going to deliver those things lastingly. Objects can decorate a life. They cannot mother you ever. This is the freeing part to understand clearly. The chase is not a moral failure. It is a human attempt. A human attempt to solve a human ache with the tools the culture handed you. You were never broken for trying. You used the only tools available. Culture handed you a card. It rarely handed you words for what was hurting underneath, so you reached for the tool that was available. Anyone would. Seeing this is not the end of wanting nice things. You can still enjoy a raise without guilt. The shift is internal, not external. It happens inside your attention. You start noticing what each purchase carries. A coat is just a coat when not asked to make you feel chosen. Then it simply warms you. A house is just a house when not asked to prove you made it. Then it simply shelters you. Freedom comes from giving objects their actual job back. Smaller, quieter, more honest. The emotional job goes somewhere real. That somewhere real is a conversation, a relationship, a memory, a quiet hour, things money cannot deliver directly. This is why quietly wealthy people often look ordinary. They stopped asking belongings to do their emotional work. It is not that they care less about life. They simply found other places to put the inner ache. You can do this too, slowly, without dramatic changes. You do not need to shame yourself for what you own. Only ask one question before status purchases. What feeling am I really trying to buy right now? And sit with the answer for a moment. The answer is the real treasure underneath the entire exhausting chase. Often it is connection, reassurance, calm, being okay. None of those live on a price tag. Sometimes after asking, you will still buy the thing. That is fine. You will buy with open eyes. Other times, you will set the thing down. You will feel a small relief, like a held breath releasing. The treadmill never stops on its own. Culture keeps it running fast, under your feet, always. Stepping off is a quiet inside job. It starts with naming what status spending was hiding for you specifically. For some, it hid not feeling chosen. For others, not feeling safe. For others, the fear of being ordinary. In a world that punishes ordinary, these are understandable. None of these are shameful in any way. When you name the hiding, the spending loses some of its grip. Slowly, like a tide gently going out. You will still want nice things, and you should. Wanting beauty is human. The things stop needing to rescue you. Rescue becomes an inside event instead. You learn to give yourself the reassurance you were trying to buy outside. The cost drops to zero. The lasting goes up. You begin to notice the people who already see you, the ones who do not need your upgrades to keep showing up. They were always there, in the background. You notice the chase in others without judgment. You see a friend's new car and feel tenderness. Tenderness, not envy. They're trying too. Everyone on the treadmill is hiding something. Most do not know. Seeing the pattern in others helps you keep seeing it in yourself. Slowly, your idea of enough changes shape. Enough stops being a number. It becomes a feeling you can choose, often in very small moments. Enough is the moment you put the phone down, the moment coffee tastes like a whole morning. Small, free, repeatable. Enough is not anti-ambition. You can still build, earn, grow, want more from life. Enough just means the wanting no longer hides a wound. When tended, ambition gets cleaner and lighter. You build because you love building, not because you are outrunning a quiet feeling you have never sat with. The work feels lighter because it stops carrying your worth. Your worth was never in things. It was always in you the entire time, waiting patiently. That sentence sounds almost too simple to be true. But sitting with it changes how you spend, week by week. The chase loosens its grip. You will still slip sometimes, buy the wrong thing. That is human. It is not failure. Just notice. Noticing is the whole skill. Soft attention to what you are really reaching for again and again. Over time, that attention becomes a kind of inner home, a pause before the card comes out, a breath. In that pause, you might still buy, you might not. Either way, the purchase stops carrying your worth. That is the quiet revolution. Not to stop wanting, but to stop hiding behind what you want. If this resonated, take a moment to reflect. What is something you bought that was hiding a deeper feeling? You do not have to share it publicly. But if you would like to, the comments can hold it gently. If this perspective is what you want more of, subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss. We meet here often to look at the chase together gently. You are not behind, you are simply tired. Tired of pretending you are not behind. The treadmill keeps running whether you stay on it or step off. But you do not have to stay. You can step off and still belong. You were never the problem. The chase was the problem, and now you can see it clearly. Seeing it is already stepping off the belt. Buy what you love when you love it, not when you are hiding from something else inside you that hurts. That single shift will quietly change everything downstream. Status was never the destination you actually needed in the end. Enough was always waiting for you underneath the noise in a quieter room inside. You are allowed to go there.